All right, welcome back to the sixth installment of Art Appreciation. So, this week we are going into week 6, and you have a few things on the docket. One of the things that you're going to learn about this week in your introductory is learning about different styles of art. Last week you had to pick an artist and an artwork, and you already had picked a style for your paper. This goes a little bit more in depth with that. So it talks about how to explore different art styles. And basically, art styles are described in the way that an artwork looks. The style is basically the manner in which the artist portrays his or her subject matter and how the artist expresses his or her vision. So if you take a look, some style can be determined by the color, the form, and the composition. Other factors might be the way the artist handled the medium. So there are a few different ways to kind of decide what category an artwork would fit. So it says artwork that has certain features in common are considered to have the same style. Sometimes this might mean the same movement, but not always. It says the concept of movements in art is usually linked to a specific time or place in history. It says, for instance, there are painters today who still paint in impressionistic manner, embracing the concepts that first defined Impressionism in the 19th century. However, because they are contemporary artists who are inspired by Impressionists, they are not really a part of the original Impressionist movement as it exists in historical terms. Although art styles can be resurrected from the past, the movement itself is still anchored in its original position and history on the timeline. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over some different types of styles. So it says artists can work in many different styles. In the past, artists were usually expected to create art in a predominant fashion, and that was popular at the time. Now artists have much more freedom to work as they choose. While it is perfectly okay to work in a variety of styles, it is generally best to focus on one. A lot of times artists will dabble in different styles, but they're usually known for one type of style. So if we take a look at some styles that we know about today, you can take a look at photorealism. So if we click on that and take a look, photorealism is an extremely realistic style of painting and drawing in which the artwork is based entirely from a photo. So what the artist is trying to do is they are trying to recreate a photo in what it actually looks like on another type of canvas. So if you look below here, it says, for instance, check out the photorealistic painting titled Two Pink Cupcakes. Several people wrote to tell me that at first they thought it was a photo until they realized the description that it was a painting. So what photorealist artists do is they try to make it look exactly like the image they are looking at. Last year, so we can see more photorealist paintings. So a couple examples would be the Tootsie Candies and the marbles. Now, we'll see a few. Glass is like super hard to this right here. It almost looks real, that it's super hard to know if it is a photo or a painting. But here it says at the bottom, Jar of Tootsies 2007. It is acrylic on a wood panel, 6 inches by 6 inches. So this artist has done a lot of work learning how to blend and mix colors to create such a realistic look. The cool thing is, even on some of these, this almost looks like it has a little bit of wetness to it. So these are super creative and interesting paintings. So that's one style. And if we go back, we can check out another style, which we can take a look at abstract styles. So here we've got abstract paintings and drawings are a playground of visual delight. In abstract art, the artist can create worlds of color and contemplation. Abstract artists use form, color, line, texture, pattern, and composition, and also a process to present an idea and invoke an emotion. Abstract art has the ability to express what other visual artist styles cannot. It can address concepts that are intangible and theoretical, existing in the realms of the mind, spirit, rather than outer reality. A lot of art, abstract art, can be non-objective art as well, and there are many different styles within this genre. So here we have another abstract art. A lot of times what happens in abstract art, some people might even see artwork that's abstract and not almost even consider it artwork. You know, a lot of times you'll hear, oh, well, I could do that. And really, in defense with those artists, a lot of times not having the fundamentals to be able to create the color palette or the blending or even the layout. You know, people don't understand that. If they don't have those things, it might not turn out like this artist wanted it to. Just because sometimes it's simple or it may look kind of crazy or totally weird doesn't mean that there was a lot of thought process behind it, and definitely some like art tools. And another artist, Walsley Kandinsky, wrote, "Of all the arts, abstract painting is the most difficult. It demands that you know how to draw well, that you have a heightened sensitivity for composition and for colors, and that you be a true poet. This last is essential." And so that kind of links back to, again, how, you know, it's not as easy as people may seem. And we can take a look at the Art Abstract table of contents and learning about abstract art. And you can take a look at abstract art as a subject, understanding abstract works of art, understanding how abstract art can be relatively clueless, color in art, patterns in art, and then just some more paintings. If you want, you can take a look at this website on your own. It's called artisfun.com. It's more of just like a blog type that has different lessons and things like that. But we were just taking a look here at all of the different, like here's Walsley Kandinsky, and he is an abstract artist. And he creates artworks off to the side here that have very bright colors, no definition necessarily of a realistic look, but it suggests usually a realistic, like the trees here, you can tell it's a tree, but it may not look exactly like a tree normally would. So if we go back then and take a look, we can also explore media. So we talked a lot about paintings, and different media is acrylic, watercolor, colored pencil, mixed media, pastel, and ink. So again, those are like the material used to create the artwork, and then also different subjects. So there are different subjects like still life, landscape, nature, portrait, abstract, and you'll see all of these different subjects in a lot of styles. If we're talking about Impressionism as a style, a lot of times you will see a landscape painting in the Impressionist style. If we switch gears here a little bit, I should check my time. I don't think it's quite been okay. Anyways, if you take a look at some different art styles, we can take a look at Impressionism because you will be doing a writing paper on the Impressionist styles. And this art.com just gives you some different artworks that are Impressionist, and then it also gives you artists as well. So it's a good place to start just to look at different artworks. But the Impressionist, I am so sorry. The Impressionist style itself, if we take a look at the definition of what that is, and we can. So if we take a look at what Impressionism is, it is a style in which the artist capture the image of an object or someone would see as if they just caught a glimpse of it. So they're almost trying to like take a picture of time. They paint pictures with a lot of color, and most of their pictures are outdoors. A lot of times you'll hear the word plein air, which means open air, and the artists would take a palette, take their tools, grab an easel, and they would go outside and they would create a painting within maybe a few hours. The cool thing about that was that these Impressionist painters, are catching a snapshot. So like this example here of this painting called Sunrise. 30 minutes later, as Claude Monet is sitting there, the sun is going to be in a different place. But he was taking a snapshot, setting things out, and then coloring it and painting it how it looked for that time. So it says Monet influenced and developed Impressionism. He painted everyday objects. Pissarro and Sisley painted the French countryside and river scenes. Degas enjoyed painting ballet dancers and horse races. Renoir loved to show the effects of sunlight on flowers, and Monet was interested in subtle changes in atmosphere. So all of these different artists that would be in the category of Impressionist as a style had a lot of different subject matters that they created. So what we know about it so far is that they tried to take a glimpse of an object or someone. They painted with a lot of color. Most of the time it was an outdoor scene or in plein air. And they tried to create vibrant images. You'll also notice that the brush strokes they use are shorter and more choppy. Or another word I like to use is painterly. So when an artist, you can see a lot of the brush strokes. A lot of times you can link that to Impressionist paintings or the style of Impressionism. And I think what I'm going to do is I will pause here, make sure we haven't gone over time, and then I will pick up another video and discuss that in the second half.